Good evening, hello there. Hello, you're very welcome back to the workbench. Here we are, this never-ending run of little modules building into our expanding modular system here. It's looking pretty nifty, I think. Looking pretty nifty. Still a few holes to fill. I wonder where this one is going to go. No, over here I think. Yeah, over here. So we are getting there. Definitely getting there. I'm not sure. 1 second. That's better. I seem to be recording on that camera. I have no idea why. I wonder if that's been running all day. Anyway, so you're very welcome to join me this evening for the soldering of the Erica Synths mixer module. We had a good session on it last night, got down to some real nitty-gritty details about operational amplifiers, which is always exciting. Can't fault that. And so it now comes to put solder to PCB to put the thing together. Doesn't look like a difficult build. There's not a lot to it really. In fact, they all fitted on this here breadboard rather nicely. Now I might, if I'm thinking about it, try to take this apart intelligently so that I don't have to measure absolutely everything as I go. But we shall see. I mean, some things are simple, like the patch sockets. We put this onto what I want you to see, which is that. So all those bits and the pots, the trimmer, 2 chips, then all these bleeding resistors. Right, if I take them off intelligently, I should be able to do it without having to measure them all again. So first of all, if I can find the 100k ones, which are the ones of which there are the most, they're the ones with the orange stripe. So I take all of those off. They're all a pretty safe bet. I'll stick them on a piece of paper over there. Then I should have 3 1Ks. I do. And 1 27K. Nice, and there are a couple of extras that we didn't use on the breadboard. Those are the 2 diodes. Put them there. Get rid of the breadboard. Excellent, we are cooking on gas. Turn on my soldering iron. Get that warming up. Are you with me? Let's hope so, hey. So, without further ado, let's get into seeing what it says about stuff. So just looking at the manual for the minute. It says before we start building, let's have a look at the schematics. Right, see if we can identify what we need. So also sounds like somebody is harvesting some field out the back at the moment, which is nice, so we'll have to contend with that also. So the 10 ohm resistors with decoupling capacitors, they're energy reservoirs to keep the stable voltage supply stable. So that's why we didn't use them in the breadboard. These 2 here are to do with the power supply. There's always a stuff for the power supply. Hi Ken, hi Alchemist, hi Gear. You were here nice and early, well done. So the 10 ohm resistors act like slow fuses in case there's a problem. Okay, great. Good, so just general stuff. So this is our circuit diagram. See if we can see, it's not huge, it's not huge at all. Got our 3 inputs. 3 inputs go through pots. I've just used my mouse so you can see that happening a little bit better. Make sure the right page is up. So 3 inputs going through 100k resistors, going into this op amp here, which essentially adds all those up at this output, and then it adds them up but also inverts it. That's just the nature of that operation amplifier, and that sends out to a separate inverted output. That's useful if you're mixing control voltage and you want to have the mirror image of what it is that you're mixing together. Otherwise, this carries on through another op amp which does another inversion, but it only has a single input, so it's only going to retain the same information. It's not going to add or subtract anything, it just inverts it, and that gives us our main output. We've then got this natty little distortion circuit through these diodes, which we kind of experience a little bit of on the breadboard. Not a whole lot, to be fair, but something was definitely going on, and that gives us our clip output. That is it. That's all there is to it in the grit mixer, they call it. So let's put this back the right way up, or the wrong way up, to see where we get to. So before we start, we recommend printing out these bits, which is always a nice thing to do. Just gives us an overview, but what we find on the PCB itself is that everything is printed on. So you've got all the values printed on here of every bit, so it's fairly self-explanatory as to what's going on. And on the other side you've got your jacks, jack sockets, your 3 potentiometers, and then this is going to sit on top. Easy peasy. I reckon we'll be done by, I'm going to predict we'll be done by 9. What do you think, Ken? Hi Jim. Hi Mr. Tassus over there in Twitch land. Well done. Nice. You've bought all the kits. Great stuff. Well, I mean, there's hours and hours of this footage now for you to wade through, so good luck with that, and thanks for joining us. That's fantastic. I reckon that one of these days I'll just wander over to Twitch and there'll be millions of people over there watching, and I would have become some kind of, you know, weird icon and not have any clue about it. Yeah, I do have an inflated sense of my own importance. Okay, so what do we do? Well, I think we just get on with it. There's nothing else to do, is there? So we're going to follow the instructions as much as they are. There's not masses of them. Got my soldering iron on. Going to put a little bit of water on my sponge. I can get this in here without spilling it over myself. Ooh. Good job, good job. Hi Polykit. So your man suggests resistors, diodes as the first step forward. Good idea, let's do that. So where's the camera? Camera's about here. I need to be about here the whole time. Is that going to be good? I think so. It's going to be good, right. Okay. It's amazing. This is so straightforward that I can pretty much see where everything is. Just going to reposition this. Needs to be a little bit more that way. That's better. So I can see here I've got the 3 1s. They're the 10s. The rest are 100s. Right, easy peasy then. Why do I have 4 of these? Oh, I've already muddled it up already, haven't I? So one of these is the 27. That'll be that one with the purple in it. Of course it will. All these are already weirdly bent from the breadboard experience. But we're just going to stick those in there, bend the legs underneath. If you can keep them all the same way round, it does make for a slightly prettier PCB. So I'm going to have a go at that. Oh, let's see. It's easier to straighten the legs and re-bend them, definitely. Gives you a slightly neater experience. And then the idea with the PCB is that you just populate stuff from the lowest in height to the highest. It just makes it easier to solder. Okay, that's those three in. The two 10s, which are here. These blue ones in my pack. Yours may be different. It's just the values that are the same. So that's 10 there. And a 10 there. So all I'm doing is bending them a little bit, not completely flat, just a little bit so that they don't fall out when you turn it over. If you bend them too flat, then the soldering can be a little bit tricky. So I'm just trying to keep everything fluid. Don't know, fluid's not the right word. There we go. So it looks like there might be some upright resistors. Not sure at the moment. Let's just go with the ones that we can see. So there's 100k here. $300Ks up here. If I want to keep them a little bit all the same way around, that's just a tiny bit nicer, just a tiny bit. So that looks like all of the resistors that are horizontal. So I've got a bunch more resistors left, so they must be vertical ones on these little, yeah, there's one there. That's a 27k, that must be the 100, that's 100. But we'll do those later, because if you're putting resistors horizontally, vertically, like that, they're going to be sticking up out of the board. So I'm going to solder these, and then I'll do the diodes separately, just to get us started, get us feeling it. Where the heck is my solder? It is there. So I stick it in a sponge for reasons I can't remember. I jam it into the wire for other reasons too. Should hopefully give me a nice clean end. I'm going to get my safety specs and put those on so that I don't lose my eyeballs when it spits at me. Never see me in a t-shirt. Yeah, I mean soldering is sometimes a t-shirt thing, I find. And it is my Thonk t-shirt. Very proud of my Thonk t-shirt. So then I just stick the iron onto the leg and onto the pad, present it with some solder, take the solder off, hold onto the board a little bit with my finger, take off the soldering iron. Now I know I say this stuff every time, but my assumption is that there's maybe someone new who hasn't heard my awesome description of soldering before. Now, I've just gashed myself with poisonous lead fumes, so the other thing I haven't done is put on my little fan, which is actually nice just at the moment. I hope that's not hitting the microphone. Do let me know if it is, because I can't see from where I'm sat as to whether that's being picked up, and I will make some adjustments. So now I'm getting the fumes blown away. Heat that pad, present the solder, hold it while I take that off, and it should just be completely beautiful. And you can look at the way that solder runs on there and just go, good lord, that's an amazing, miraculous piece of physics. And it is. Oh, right, here comes the harvester. Feels like it's going to come through the side of the shed. I mean, I don't actually have a field directly behind my house. It's over the back of the next one. Well, maybe it is in behind. Him with the chickens. Deciding that they just aren't making enough noise yet. Come on, why are you making trouble? That's better. If it doesn't seem to want to heat up, try just rotating the iron a little bit, trying to find another slight angle, and it will go onto the iron. That's inevitable. Well, I mean, unless you're really special. That's why you've got that sponge and wire stuff. But hopefully, if you've heated the pad and the leg, the solder will crawl up those things all by itself. It's just extraordinary. Well, hopefully. Okay, good, nice, good. You can't hear the fan, good, thank you for that. No, you build, you buy the Thonk t-shirts ready made. They're all completely printed, ready to go. I know, unusual, but that is the case. Then I snip the legs off. I put my hand in the way so they don't twang everywhere, because when they do twang everywhere, they end up in my feet. They just do, that's where they go. Like that one, it's going to end up in my foot. Good. Then I've got a little pile of legs that one day will be worth something, I reckon. Enough of them. Good, so look at that, how lovely and neat and ordered that is. Just fabulous. Lovely, lovely. Right, so now the diodes. I've got these two fellas. Now these are not the power supply ones. So the thick ones go around the power supply and the 10 ohm resistors here. I'll do those in a minute. These are going to be these ones here. The 1N414s. That's where they go. You have to have a look on the screen print to see which way round they go. See the line? That corresponds to the black line on these. Because diodes only go one way. So that has to match up. Very important. And you tend to find that when they go together on a board, they tend to be going in opposite directions. Like that. And that is our diode distortion circuit. Gosh. Now the power regulator diodes are these big fat ones here. bend over. And again, these have got white stripes to show you where the screen print is and where this needs to go that way around. Big old thick things. The other one is over here, that way round. Good. Let's put those in. Now Mr. Infinite Machinery is suggesting a bit of flux is helpful, which I'm sure it is. You know, it's something that I've never actually added to any of my builds. I mean, the solder I've got, to my understanding, has enough flux built in. You don't really need to add additional stuff. I mean, it may well be that I probably should be, and I've been struggling all this time, but it seems to work for me. Because it's almost like another level of complexity that I'd rather not add if I can help it. It's like with the cleaning afterwards. It's like, I know one is supposed to clean, but it's like, oh, what, really? I've just done all that soldering. I don't really mind if it looks a bit mucky. But it would be nice if, you know, it would be a nice thing to do. It's just an extra level of work after you've done the thing that you're trying to do. And I like the soldering. Can't say I like fluxing or cleaning. They're lovely. Now with these big thick legs, it take a little bit longer to heat up. So you just have to be a bit more patient. A lot more patience, particularly when you don't think you've quite got it on there quite right. Okay, that's starting to move. Don't feel you should have the board a particular way round. You know, spin it round to find the most comfortable space. Good, lovely. Now that's still hot over there. There's another one for my foot. Yeah. Those are the diodes. Beautiful. Right, so that I think is the first section of this. So what's the next one? Next, insert the dip sockets and then the ceramic capacitors. So dip sockets are these things. Those are going to be holding our ICs. They need to go the right way round. As you can see on the board, you've got this little nick out the front. That needs to be mirrored by the little nick on your holder, like that. Now you can just push those legs out a little bit with a nail, and it will stop them falling over when you turn it over. Oh, nearly. Oh, nearly got away with it. Oh dear, see, it's bent now. Oh, I got myself in trouble. There we go. If I do that, bend it a little bit. I just need to have it bent enough so I can turn it over without them falling off. That's all I'm attempting to do. So those are the right way round, there and there. I'm going to whack those in like that. Now because it's on a slight angle, they might go in at a wonk. So you can either put something underneath this edge to hold it up level, or you can just sort of push down on this so it flattens itself out and solder one leg, hold the board somehow so you can take the iron off. There you go, and let it cool, and I'll try one leg on the other one. Just do like a single leg and then have a look at it, so that if it is all wonky, it's relatively easy to undo. That looks great to me. So I will do the rest. Good, those look fine. Then we've got to do the ceramic capacitors. Those are these ones, the 104s. How many should we have? 1, 2, 3, just the 4. Really, this is a simple circuit. I don't think we use any capacitors at all in the on the breadboard, did we? So these are, let me get this the same as the picture. Must be one here. Yeah, 0.1 microfarad there, C3. This one along here, C6. This one, C8. Oh, hello. Oh. Apparently I've been asked to I've been invited to an avant-garde group. They know me so well, my avant-gardeness. And down here, C7, yeah. See if you can resist saying, "You sank my battleship." See, that's not right, is it? That's different. So I'm doing this wrong. There's one there. One there. There's one there. Oh, there's another one. Maybe I'm missing one. Uh-oh. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 on the picture. Got 4 here. 1, 2. Should be 1 over here. 3. Should be 1 there. 4, 5, 6. Okay, odd. Can anybody remember from last night whether I had enough of those? Because obviously we didn't use them last night, but I did count through the bit of materials to some degree. But we did have these two weirdo things that I still haven't worked out what they are. I mean, would these be ceramic capacitors? Is there anyone able to tell me? Can you see those? Can you see those? Because these are completely mysterious. I do not know what they are, but they could be ceramic capacitors. They need to be 0.1 farad. Yeah, you can use the front panel to turn things over with. Thanks for that, Ray. Am I sure I'm not missing something here? No, they're not resistors. No, I had a look at them yesterday. I thought they were resistors, tried to measure them as such, and they are not. So, if I go here a second, ceramic capacitors. Just wondered if there's another image which would show them in this way. Might be barking up the wrong tree, of course. It's not looking very good at the minute. Oh, that's a bit like it. No, it seems unlikely. Now, of course, since yesterday, for all I know, these have blown away. Look like tempcos or inductors. That's an interesting name. Now, what have I had knocking around here since yesterday? What have I been doing? Just gonna have a look around my place. It's probably more obvious than I think. It's not there. What else have I picked up? Sorry, microphone. Because they might have stuck to the underside of the computer because it's magnetic. No. Oh, this is weird. I mean, these are only 104s. I've probably got a dozen of these things knocking around. I mean, I've got that extra kit because I've got 2 lots of the thing. Let me go and get that extra kit. What did I do? Oh. Where did I put the other ones? Oh, I'm well confused now. Oh, they put them down there. Right, okay. So, what are we looking for? So where's my... What? Oh, I'm all awry. In confusion. So these are 104s, yeah? 0.1 microfarad. I need 2 more. So the chances are there's going to be some more in here. In another kit. Because I've got 2 of these by accident. So the likelihood is there will be some, and I'm just spilling them all over myself. That's really great. Really great. Just that I dropped. Good job, man. Good job. So that is, see, that's 104. Slightly different style. Yeah, but I've got two 10 ohm resistors already. It's not there. They aren't them. A resistor with a single black band is a 0 ohm resistor. So that's an unresistor resistor. A non-resisting resistor. I mean, commonly known as a piece of wire, isn't it? Anyway, so I've rescued the day by finding two other 104s in there. That's just going to bite me on the arse later when I do that, but I can do something about that in the meantime. And in fact, something that I did, because I was struggling to find the right capacitor for the Cosmo module I was making, the big oscillator, I actually bought a box of capacitors. Where are they? Here. I thought I'd just buy the capacitor that I needed, and in a moment of absolute genius, I thought, no, sod it, I'll buy a box of, you know, not random capacitors, but a series of capacitors. So don't know how to open it. Do I need to open it? Not really. So I've got a whole load of different ones in here. I thought that would just be useful because the more kits that I make and the more bits and pieces that I do occasionally come across things that either are missing or I don't have, but also with doing things like the Cosmo ones, you just need components. So rather than ordering individual lots every time I do a module, I might already have some. So I've got those. I've got a whole bunch of resistors up here too. Those are the sort of things you start acquiring, I think, when you do this thing for long enough. Right, what was I doing? Back to those capacitors. So yeah, so that'll do. That's all right. I'll just have to remember that I've taken them out of the noise and sample and hold and replenish those at another time. And these are 104. That is exactly the same, 104. So that should not be a problem. So one goes there, slightly higher, and the other one goes here. In terms of the Decar's Dream, the Machine's one man, I am not far off. Not far off. I just have a whole bunch of things I have to do at the minute that's preventing me from looking at it, I'm afraid. But definitely over the summer, I think I'm going to pull it all together. Really not very far now. I mean, I think I've got the electrolytics to do on the voice cards. I mean, that's no small number of things. And then there's the other sort of larger bits. I think there might be some trimmers or other connectors that need to be done. But on the whole, oh, I might write pig's ear out of that. Didn't I write pig's ear? That's not remotely on there. What is that? What happened there? Okay, try that again. I have lost all ability to solder. That's odd. Why is that doing that? Soldering is odd. That much is true. After you've got over the miracle of it all, it then just becomes an odd exercise in doing odd things. This, for some reason, is not wanting to flow onto the pad. I'll come back to it. Oh, that shut me up, isn't it? What am I doing wrong here? So why is that no longer melting things? Should be. I've got too much crap on the end. Maybe the circles on these particular components are a little small. That's perfect. It's like you want to just sort of touch it to see if it's hot, which of course it is, and it will burn my fingers off. Why is this not quite giving me what I want? Maybe is it? I mean, is it possible to dirty soldering iron need to retin the tip? Well, I mean, it looks fairly tinned to me, I have to say. I'm certainly getting a lot of solder on it without too much bother. Okay, let's try a bit of that. I think just the very tip seems to have lost its hotness. Is that something that happens? Come on, melt, you bugger. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Maybe I'm doing it all wrong. That's also a high probability. Well, struggle on. That's what I say. Come on, you bastard. like I'm making a right pig's ear out of this. Right, well, I'm just going to assume they're all right. Sorry, am I drifting off? It's not recommended to use a sponge with water to clean the soldering iron tip. Okay, why do we have the sponge with water? What is it used for? I mean, that's an honest question because I don't know. I mean, it's just part of what comes with your soldering iron kit as the thing that you clean your soldering iron with. So if you're not supposed to use that for cleaning the tip of your soldering iron, what is it for? And what is the better way of cleaning your soldering iron? And again, that's not a rhetorical question. I'm not trying to be funny. You know, tell me what it is, because you know I'm a complete amateur at this. I'm just doing what I think seems to be about right, following advice if I can, and you know, balancing advice, because I get a lot of extraordinary advice, usually starting off with, well, once you've got your degree in electronic engineering, etc. So you know, but give us reasons. I never use sponges, only solder and brass mesh bowl. Okay, I only use it because it's there. So they use it in lieu of a more expensive brass mesh. Okay, so you can use it for cleaning. It is what it's for, yeah? But what you're saying is I'm better off using the mesh. I mean, I've got two of those. I've got one of those in there and one of those in there. I just jab it at things and it tends to make the end shiny. So what you're saying is, I mean, it's like I say, it's just like a gut reaction because it's there, and I feel that it might have something to contribute. But if that's not the case, I'll stick with the brass. Thanks for the advice. I'll stick with the brass. Don't need to be using both. I don't need to be using both. That's cool. I wondered if there's something about, you know, you cool the tip so that the solder becomes brittle or something, or it comes off easier when you put it in the brass. You know, I mean, I could make up all sorts of fantasies over why I thought that was important. Anyways, I've put those in. Let's keep at it. Oops. Oh, come on, don't mess me about. No, it's gonna mess me about. I want to zoom in, you little bugger. It's not going to let me. Okay. Contributes to the accelerated wear of the tip. Oh dear. Why do we have these things then? It's just mad, isn't it? Come on. What is going on today? Now my computer doesn't want to do anything. What's the matter with you? Huh? What's the matter with you? Come on. No, you definitely don't want to do that. So, dip sockets. We did that. Ceramic capacitors. We did that. Okay, so now we've got some vertically challenged resistors to put those in. It should look like this. Let's zoom in on that. Come on, there, I can see them, So the rest of these 100Ks and the 27K, they go in on here vertically, which means you have to do them like this. Yeah? And then if you look on the board, you'll find little places with little circles, like here, R9, 100K, little circle on one side, that's where you put the body. That, in my hand, is the 27. So let's not put that one in there. Let's find where the 27K goes. 27k here, R19. That's the fella. So the one with the purple stripe, that's the 27k. That's going to go in there. Then it's just 100k's. Am I cleaning my computer mouse with a water sponge? I don't understand the question, mate. What on earth are you talking about? But I mean, to answer your question, no, I don't wash it with a sponge. I don't wash it with wire wool either. I'm sure there's a really interesting point in there somewhere, but you are mystifying me. I am mystified. Boggled would be the word. Another 100k here, 20. Oh, the baseline does it? Interesting. I mean, the Erica Synth kits, this range of kits are the first time I encountered the vertical resistor. Couldn't work out what on earth was going on. It seemed very odd, but having done a few now, it does actually make sense, I suppose. It makes it gives you a bit of room. There's another 100k in there. That's fine, Stan. Like I say, I have to navigate an extraordinary amount of well-meant advice. And I don't always do it with good grace, but I try. Okay, that. Now, are there any others? There are down here, but they don't seem to be anything to do with our lot. They're not labelled in terms of resistance. So I think that's it. And over there, there's one there, gaggle of 3, one there, and oh, he has put another one down the bottom there. I don't have. It says R14. There's no value on it, and I have none left other than these weird things. And he hasn't put any of those weird things on his board, as far as I can tell. So, I mean, sometimes what's in the manual and what's on the board you get can differ a tiny bit. Right, unknown on that one. So, a potential query then on a resistor down here, but it doesn't give us a value. Or does it? See on here, can you see this? You probably can't see this. But that R14 says OR, or it could be 0R. And as Ken said, that could be a zero resistance resistor. Let's see if there's anything in the text about it. Oh, right, you've gone nuts now, have you? Ooh! Okay. See, the surface and the touchscreen thing is sublime 99% of the time, but every now and again, particularly around soldering, because of there's metal everywhere and that's messing up its magnetic fields, it all goes weird. So once you've done it, it should all look like this. Let's check. Has any other said anything about anything? Order save space, bend the resistor's legs, blah blah blah, turn it around, insert several resistors at once. Cut off the leads. So I don't know what to do about that. 0 ohms? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So bizarre query then. Well, I could put in here. Oh yeah, that looks like it, doesn't it? What is 0 ohm resistor and why is it used? Used instead of a wire. Yeah, that's what it is. How odd. Well, odd only in that they're not mentioned. If anybody else has found this in the... let's go back up to the bill of materials. Sorry about this diversion. Okay, a couple of chips, bunch of jack sockets, trimmer, knobs, diodes, capacitors, bunch of resistors. There's probably another one on the picture. So if that one there is a 0 ohm, that one there is a 0 ohm. I'm going to another reference to VCF on page 40. What? Ohms instead of a jumper wire, reduced board cost. Okay. I'm just going to see if I can message Moritz. Just to ask. I've got him somewhere. Definitely spoken to him somewhere. There. Hey Moritz. We think they are 0 ohm resistors. They are not mentioned in the manual or BOM. The PCB photo doing vertical resistors. should they be installed? Right, so I'm going to put that to one side for the minute and check again in a bit. They have cut and pasted the build guide and it references the VCF on pages 39 and 40 instead of the mixer. Oh, I see. Possibly. I mean, if you're referring to those photos, that sometimes they use the same photos over again just to demonstrate something. Oh yeah, including the VCF. Have vertically placed resistors. So yeah, they have copy and pasted that bit. So that's it's like the first picture here is not always of the mixer or not always of the thing that you're doing. Yeah, place the VCF PCB. Yes, indeed. So in previous manuals, I've seen that this picture actually doesn't change. It's been of a completely different module, and then it starts here on the real thing. So yeah, that's just a copy and paste error. But yeah, thanks for pointing that out. That's super. So what I'm going to do, I'll solder these ones in as it is. I'll ignore the 0 ohm ones down here just for the moment to give Moritz a chance to respond, just in case he may. And we'll carry on with the rest of it. We can always stick them in a bit later. So no sponge for me, just jamming it in there and see if I can get these to work. Much larger pads, which is always good to see. I think generosity with soldering pads is a good thing. I like that an awful lot. See, that's beautiful. That's just going on there sweet as a nut. Exactly the sort of soldering I like to see. I'm a simple man, simple needs. Whoops, that's blown it. I like to watch solder flow nicely. Better, 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 better. So what did I say about finishing at 9 o'clock? Oh, let's keep at it. Keep at it. Cool, looking good. And they never go completely lovely straight, I don't think. They tend to be a bit all over the place. Looks like you've opened up the back of your old transistor radio. So what's next? Ceramic capacitors, blah blah blah, vertical, blah 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 blah. Next up, electrolytic capacitors. So these are bipolar, which means you need to know which way round they go. Here we go. Long leg is always positive. You've got negative down one side like so. So they're relatively easy to seat. How many of these have I got? I thought I had 2. No, it looks like I've only got the 1. This is a 47 microfarad. Aren't they always? Look, there's room for 2 on here, so I've probably got another one that's rolled off the bench somewhere. Which is, or I've got a capacitor thief. I mean, that's also possible. because this is starting to get ridiculous. What is going on? I'm evidently losing it. I seem to think there was only one that came out of the bag. Anyway. But there appears to be 47 microfarad there, 47 microfarad there. It's got a line on it, and that line lends itself to the negative line on here. And so the square pad in this instance is positive for the long leg. That goes in there. As for where the other capacitor is, I don't know what is going on. Maybe I just didn't look after my stuff well enough. Did I leave it in their thing? No. I don't get it. Back up to the bill of materials. Yeah, 247s. I don't know what to say. This is strange. Having a funny old time of it. Okay, I've got 3 pots. I've got a bunch of those. I've got me 2 chips and me trimmer. I've got some nuts. Very, very weird. So let's have another look in my noise box here. For some spare parts. And look at that, there's a 47 in there. Now hopefully when you get yours through, you'll have all the right parts in it. I mean, I probably did, and I've either mislaid them or something's rolled off the desk, which is very, very possible. I mean, for instance, I can see things on the floor that shouldn't be there, like like that, which evidently fell out of something, probably out of that bag that I opened earlier. Just gonna stick this back in the box. So it's through, I imagine it's through my own carelessness as opposed to there being a problem at Erica Synths. I also know that it was packed. There's a sticker on here to say it was packed at Erica Synths and not at Thonk's. So it's not as if I can waggle myself at Thonk and go, oi! So I won't bother with that. Anyway, so I found another one. Is that exactly the same? 47 nanos. Micros, 47 micros. Okay, so again here, square hole's positive for the long leg. The line goes against the line on the screen print. That goes in there. Weird. I should have gone through the bit of materials again at the beginning. That's what I should have done. Anyway, so just those 2 bits on there. Couldn't we also get this on at the same time because they're about the same size? I would get it on first, wouldn't you? And there's a trimmer, because those are not going to fall out. So I'm just going to take those capacitors out for the minute. This trimmer goes down here. Is that about the same size? No, that's taller. So I'm going to put this on first, the power socket. Make sure it goes the right way. There is a little slice in the corner there, and that corresponds to well, apparently there should be a slice. I don't know, but that corresponds to the way that this notch here is facing. That should go in the same direction as that notch, and that'll make sure that we plug the power in the right way around at the right time. Now I might just be able to turn that over like that, and that'll work. It does. Good. Bit of foam. I'm just going to stick there to give it a little bit of, that's not really going to work. I'll just, I don't know, let's just press down on it hard, I think, and it should be fine. So I'm going to press down on it over here so it all evens out. Can do a single leg. Like that. I'm going to hold it nice and still so I take off the soldering iron, and that should be nice and flat. Flat enough, and we'll do the rest. It's definitely melting better from the side of my iron. Let's look into that a little bit. Good. So now I can do these capacitors again. Long leg positive, square, negative to the line. Same again. The trimmer, it's got a little mark on it to show you where the little nut goes. That goes there also. Come on. That's very weird today. Very, very weird. I don't know what I'm doing wrong today. I don't get it. I do not get it. I've lost my powers. That's better. Okay. I mean, is there a life on solder tips? I mean, it's not as if I'm using it every day. Using it every month, really. Okay, good. That's pretty much it. It should look like this. Yes, it does. Now turn it around, inspect the solder joints. Oh, I've got the big things to put on yet. Clean it if necessary. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Insert the jack sockets and solder them. And then do the pots, but don't solder them. Okay. So the usual thing is to put these in. So you've got the long leg, this leg that sticks out, that goes in that outside hole, and it's sort of almost enough spring loaded to hold it together. And you'll notice that this is on the opposite side to all of the components. Same down here. Now you should just be able to turn it over and solder it, but I'm just in the habit of putting this on, the front panel on, just to make sure that they don't go crooked for any reason, and then you won't be able to get the panel on afterwards. So I'm just going to put on a couple of these nuts. So obviously these are not soldered, so it will just pull straight out, but I just want to make sure that those are in the right place. Also makes it easier to put it down. Then let's see if I can solder all this stuff. So these are coming through down here. Give myself the most surface area. Nice. Yeah. Good. And then it fails. good. Then there's the pots. These all got bent because of the breadboard. These are all the same, B100s, B100, B100. That's one. 2. 3. So again, this is suggesting to put the front panel on to make sure that they are all well aligned. It's going to be a bit wobbly. I'm going to have to go with it. Trying to be zen-like and chilled as possible about this bizarre lack of heat or something. Better. It's going to get trickier getting in here. I don't want to melt these other components. Why you need a good functioning soldering iron. Go on, all the way around. Good, good, good. Yeah, nice, nice. Better. Wobble, wobble. I'll get in here without having a problem. I'm melting a capacitor. Yeah, good. I think it is an oxidation problem as much as anything. Maybe I need to look into how to properly clean the end of your soldering iron type thing. Squeeze that in there. Oops. I melted a bit of the side of that capacitor. Never mind, worst things happen at sea. Good. Oh, it's all happening now. It's gone very quiet out there in building land. There's always a worry. It makes me think that the whole thing's not even working. And that would be a shame. Do I still seem to be streaming? Yeah, I seem to be. No, it's just me then. Everyone's gone to sleep. Which is fine, that's fine. I don't demand your constant commenting, comforting though it is. Now, I have no idea whether this is even the right way up. Thinking about it. Is it completely interchangeable? I could have this backwards. Oh. Don't think about that. I mean, this writing is up there, which would indicate that that's the right way up. I think. Anyway, let's have a look. Then install the front panel and fix it. So yeah, I think I did get that right. Then the dip sockets, and then we're ready for testing. I'm just going to double check before I put the rest of the nuts on. Still here, good lad. How many thousands over on Twitch now? In level 1, in level 2, in level 3. Yeah, so that is all right. Good. Let's jam that in there then. No flashy knobs on this one, sadly. Just the simple trimmer ones. But I do have some spare knobs that go over the top of knobs from Thonk. Actually, that I could always use to tart it up a little bit. Oh, I haven't put these on yet. Let me check my phone. Ow. Something bit me. Oh, can't see. No, he's not about. Well, let's try it out first. If nothing works, we'll then stick them in. So congratulations, you've done it, or have we, is the question at this point. Connect it to your power supply, switch it on. If there's no magic smoke, that's a good sign. Patch some audio signals in. And check it out. And then do the clip thing. So that should be it, great. So, except for the, oh, I haven't put the chips in. Put the chips in, obviously, that would be good. So these are the same, they're just packets of op amps. Just got to make sure that that little nick to the side corresponds with the dot on the TL072, whatever this is, and you just push it in nice and firmly. I already squished the legs to get them flat or sort of parallel properly. Should go in like that. That one looks wonky, but probably not wonky in a bad way. Or it could have bent something underneath itself. No, it hasn't. Alright, let's try again. Okay, that's a little bit more satisfying. Right, so I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen in terms of those 0 ohm resistor things? Because maybe I should be putting them on. Maybe I should just be going for it in that way. What do we think? Hey, no Argy one. You're very welcome. Okay, what I'm going to do. Ow! Something's jabbing in me. It's jabbing in me, or biting me, or something. A funny old evening. I don't know what's going on. Right, let's have a look on the schematic. Maybe that will tell us something. That's a good idea. Why didn't I think of that before? All right, the screen's working again now. So let's go back to our schematic. Yeah, here as well. So you can see this. Well, I mean, it's almost not telling us what it is. It's given us an R number, which is of no use because the manual and the BOM doesn't tell you what the R numbers are or mean. So that's not particularly helpful. Okay, here, now this one is more useful. See, 0R, 0R. But then it's got all these other dim-dim-dim-dim-dims that are not populated either. Sorry, something strange is happening to my leg down there. If I suddenly get pulled under the table, don't panic. So, okay, let's have a look at the schematic. Looking for 0 ohm. So over here, R14. So this is an optional non-inverting op-amp circuit, currently configured as a unity gain follower. There we are. And that features two 0 or OR, which I assume is what these are supposed to be. It has these test points. So this is all this business down here. So this must use or taps into part of this op amp that's not being used. For something else. But there's been no mention of it. Well, so what I'm going with that I've no idea. So pulling my hair out. So I'm going to ignore them, and I'm going to go with what we have. So let's bring this back out and see if we can make all this work. That's going to be the answer at this point. It would not be one of these builds if there wasn't some kind of weirdness in it which didn't make any sense. We get that every time. That has me scratching my head. Okay, good. Good. Right, let's see if we can get some action going on. So this we think goes over here. I'm running out of space on the board. This is the other side of the mixer, so I'm going to have to sadly take out these envelopes. It shouldn't be this difficult to unscrew the screws from this thing, but I get the feeling that my knurlies are just slightly too big. So I'm kind of re-tapping them by screwing them in really hard, because I don't have any smaller screws, and I don't think that they've come with screws, funnily enough. I don't want to hear how quiet Twitch is. I want to be under the illusion that it's a thriving community of Molten modular, you know, worshippers. That's what I want to hear. So this is going in here. There'll be one more to go in, which will be the output module. If I have a spare one of these, I could put it in now, which is going to save me a load of trouble later on. And that's, I'm going to use that for testing. I mean, I do, not that I have spares, but I have modules that aren't doing anything. Oh yeah, let's take it out of my friendly one here. Let me do that. Cool, yeah. So I can plug this in so I don't have to take it apart again. That's a great idea. Right. What's that? Oh, that's the mixer. No, what am I doing? This one here. Now, is there room in here? Because there's got to be some more stuff going on. It's going to have to be moved across. No, that's all right. That can only be like that, right? So those two go there. Sorry, I just have prickling in my leg. It's very strange. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. Oh, and I've got cramp in this side. Oh, I'm just like falling apart. Those two envelopes put back in. Then the mixer. Does it matter? Not really. So it can only go one way round. Red stripe should be to negative. Yeah, that's totally the idea. Give me the opportunity to make the mistakes on your behalf. Positive, negative, yeah, that's good. So I've got room for the output module over here. And a couple of little spaces. Sorry, I'm just moving the microphone. So here it is. Let me at least partially screw it in. Oh, go on. That's not going in. Come on. pig's ear out of this then. Come on. Maybe I need to go around and see if I can gather up some slightly smaller screws. Whew. Maybe the tolerance at this end of the case is slightly less. Well, it's fun, you know, no end of fun watching me screw in modules. It's just the really best time. I'm going to be annoyed if I have to take it out again. Okay, that's in enough. It's in enough. So that's all plugged in. I'm going to turn the thing on and hopefully we should have no sparks or smoke. Duh! Okay, nothing so far. Good. Right, let's get an output. Good. So I'm going to take this over to the output, plug that in. Then, through the magic of patching, we're going to take the saw output, plug that into one. Oh, spoilers. Take the pulse output, plug that into two. That's not what I just did. And then take the output of our filter, plug that into three. Look at that. How clever am I? So hopefully that's a resonating filter, self-oscillating rather. There is something there. Oh, I haven't looked at the trimmer. Oh, see, for that reason I need to have a look at the episode. I want to make that a little bit more extreme. So plugger it, you have to turn the sound breadboard bit. Oh no, that's not coming out of there. Oh heck. Maybe I'm going to have to just try to find some other screws. It might be too late for that. Unknown. So over here, there's a trimmer. So what I'm going to do is going to turn this all the way up. So we can hear it nice and loud. And adjust the trimmer. clip out into the filter, and that out into there, and then using the direct out from the VCA just test. Let's just take the saw this time through the filter. And then what I'll do is I will mix the envelopes. So I'll put one in the top, one in there, and then do I still need that to trigger? I do, don't I? So well, I only need one of them to trigger. This is this a bit too complicated? I don't want the clip out then, do I? I want the regular output. We use that on the filter. So I'm mixing 1 and 2 potentially, out from there, out from there. I want that one to loop quite slowly, and then that should be going into here, which should be doing a thing, which it obviously isn't. But then so there, yeah, so now I'm mixing two control voltages. I've got the envelope firing, which is adjusting this, and into the same input I've also got an LFO, so I've got this combined envelope and LFO thing going on into the cutter. Let's try it with the pulse. Output. So that's pulling it down rather than pulling it up. I wonder if the clip out does it. Yes, I believe so, Stan. As in, it doesn't have the AC coupling to my knowledge. So yes, it can mix CVs as well. At least that appears to be what it's doing. So there you have it. That's the mixer. Other than the weirdness about the zero ohm strange resistor thingies that don't seem to have anything to do with anything, they seem to be in an optional little world of their own. Didn't need them, don't care, gone on without them. That and a little bit of weird soldering iron business. I'll have to stick my tongue on it later to see exactly what's going on with that. But otherwise, we got there, and we've done a good bit of testing, a bit of patching too. I do love this little 5-stage sequencer. I think that's a fabulous thing. You know, having 5 stages is completely genius. It just makes it different, and I really enjoy that. So I was able to mix CV, I was able to mix audio, the clip out, the diode distortion. I'm still, I still remain largely unconvinced by that. I mean, if you've had a chance to build one of these, let me know whether yours actually makes any difference whatsoever. Because I mean, I can sense that there is a difference, but I can't really grab hold of it as such. So maybe there's something that can be done to improve upon that. Maybe a change in resistor value or something, just to give it something more than what it's got. But also in this environment, in this case, I'm not actually listening to it very closely. It's coming out of speakers over there that are not very loud, so that I don't feedback, etc. So there might be more going on than meets my ear currently. So I can look into that a little bit deeper. But otherwise, good, yeah, good simple build. It's in very much the same style as the envelopes and the VCA. And yeah, I could probably get some better knobs for them ultimately. Do I have some of those to hand? No, those are banana nuts. So that's good. So we're left now with this little gap over here. Not quite sure what that's for, but we've got room for the noise, sample and hold, the output module. Oh, the wave folder, that must go there. So they're the 3 final bits, which we will complete. I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll have one over the summer. It'll be nice to bring this to a close, because it's been good. It's been interesting. It's, you know, but I feel like I'd like to complete it now and play with it as it is, as a completed unit. And then at the end of it, probably never have to think about op amps ever again. No, that's not the attitude. The attitude is that I'm blooming learning stuff. I am stuff that I'm going to carry with me into my own circuit designs. That's the plan. Definitely going to be doing that, without a doubt. So there we go. I hope that was useful to you. I hope you have fun building these things. It's probably more fun just doing it yourself without trying to talk to an audience at the same time. Probably simpler that way, but I've committed to doing this, and I will endeavour to do it, and I do thoroughly enjoy putting these kits together. And it's great to have some company while I do it. That's just delightful. So I'm enormously grateful to you for coming out, sticking with me and watching. Thanks very much. Coming up, well, tomorrow probably I'll be posting my review of the No Computer filter GUR, which is a bit of a riot in lots of weird ways. So I've got that coming up. I also have to write a review on the Bastille pizza. So I'm going to get onto that soon. I also have a video to do on the Moog Mavis, along with a couple of other things, and the fantastically interesting MIDI ARP. So lots of stuff to come, and I've still got the Behringer 2500 sitting over there asking me to play with it. Excuse me. And lots more goodies besides. Deckard's Dream, of course. Cosmo modules to build. Oh, there's no end to the stuff. No end to the fun we could be having here. No end. So that'll do. I'll crack on, get on with my normal stuff. I'll see you hopefully for a Molten monthly at the end of the month, and a live stream then, just depending on whether I'm here or I might be away, holidays, camping, all sorts of things happening. Who knows? But do stay in touch. If this has been helpful to you and you feel like, I don't know, buying me a beer, then pop over to Patreon. The links are all below in the description of the YouTube thing, or you'll find them anywhere near anything that I do. And you can come and support me for a week, for a month, for a year, for as much as you like, for as little as you like. That would be awesome. Or buy a t-shirt, not one of these obviously, but one of my t-shirts or a mug, or at the very least subscribe to the channel and tell me how wonderful I am in the comments. That'd be ace. Like that sort of thing. Good. So thanks for sticking with me. I hope that's been useful, and in the meantime, go make some tunes. Oh, am I going to make a guess at the button? No, I'm not. I'm going to have a look over here. Oh, slick, man. That's what this is. Total slickness. Number 7, it says. Let's try that. All right. See you later. Hang on. Look what I found. See, I told you these were magnetic. Oh, look. See, I found this. It was stuck on the underside, and look, there's the 2 missing 104s. Because I moved this. This is my like mini Surface Go. I moved this and sat this over there as I was doing other things because I needed the bench space, and so evidently it went down on the components, and it magnetized them, magnetized them away. So I wasn't missing any after all. Oh dear Lord. There you go. I told you it was my fault. It's always going to be my fault. Anyway, back to the outro. Just thought you'd find that funny.